Hi, this is a video of how to do the envelope border. So when you are finished doing your mosaic overlay blanket and you have all these tassels on the sides, the best way for me, without having to sew them all in, is to make a border over the top. Now this is one that I've done on a different blanket. So as you can see, the tassels are completely hidden behind a nice neat border, which I've done all the way around like so. So I'm going to show you now how to do that. So I always start with the back. If you have made a double-sided blanket, it doesn't really matter which side you start on. Right, so the first thing we do is take two tassels at a time and tie them off together like so. So if you do that all the way down to all of your tassels, it's not something you have to do. I just prefer to do it because that way I know that they are secure and they're not likely to come undone. So every two tassels, tie them off. Like so. Okay, I will leave you do that and get back to you when I'm finished. Right, that's all my tassels tied off on both sides. Every two tassels paired off and tied off. Right, the next stage is try and straighten it all out. Right, I tend to start this stage about this much before the corner on a plain side, so there's no tassels on this side, just the plain side. I will use a different colour to what I've crocheted this with so you can see where I've been. So I'm using the Aran colour of the Red Heart Super Saver. Some people tend to go up a hook size for this, but I prefer to stay at the same hook size I used for the actual blanket. So we do a front post stitch, go through like that. I make a slip knot, put it on the hook, take it through. I know it's an unusual way of doing it, but I know that it's secure. Chain two. Right, then I need to go front post, double crochet all the way along, front post, all the way until I get to the corner, front post, double crochet, going along the parts where there's no tassels. It's a lot easier to do this, hence why I usually start off at some point along the row of a plain side. So you go through and out through the bottom to make a front post. It's a lot harder to go down the tasseled side. Right, well, not harder as such, more fiddly. Right, I've got to the end here. So in this last one, I'm going to put two front post double crochets, like so. Chain one, and then I'm going to turn my work, and on the first part of this one I'm going to do a front post double like so, and then another one. It's a very thin stitch there, but it's fine, it will work out. Right, so now I need to go through, as you can see, front post all the way down the tasseled side, trying my best to keep the tassels out of the stitches. So try and get in between each row, front post, double crochet. So it can get very fiddly, especially with the tassels being in the way. Don't worry overly about them, because you can sort them out when you flip your work. Go to the other side. So front post, double crochet all the way around, one front post double in every stitch along the top and the bottom, and then the sides. You just have to work out where the best place is to connect it on each row. And then of course when we get to the corner, do 2 front post double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double post crochets as you go around the corner. Oh no, I've got a tassel there, so I need to get that out of the way. Try again. Tassel out of the way. This is a lot more fiddly if you use the same colour that you started the actual blanket with, because then you've got to be able to tell the difference between the wool that you're using to make the border and the tassels that you don't want to include in the stitch that you're making. It takes a lot of practice, but once you get it, this is definitely a game changer when it comes to making borders and not having to sew in all the ends anymore. If you're like me, I absolutely hate sewing. Alright, I'm just going to take this down so you can see me get to the corner. It's so fiddly. Oh, don't want that tassel being in there. So front post double crochets all the way down. The first round on the back and front for envelope border is the most fiddly. Once you've done those, the rest of it is easy sailing, because you just do rows of doubles until you get the thickness that you need for your border. Right, coming up to the corner. So we're trying to make these as close to the edge as I possibly can without damaging the pattern in any way, shape or form. The stitch caught up there. Right, I'm coming up to the corner. Now, as you remember, when you do the one-sided blankets, you get the bit that folds over. The first foundation row tends to fold over, so you need to get that out for this part of the pattern. Right, so now I'm on the corner. I make 2 front post double crochets, chain 1, turn the work so it's now facing this way. So you've just done this, now you're going across the top. So the first stitch along the top, if I can find it, there it is, the front post double, and then another front post double, because for me that makes the perfect corner. Right, and then we do front post double crochets all the way along in every stitch. Okay, so I will leave you to that, and I will join you again when I get to back to this side. So don't forget, it's front post double crochets in every row and then every stitch, with 2 front post doubles, chain 1, 2 front post doubles on every corner. Here we are at the last stitch, which I'll put like so. That's all the way around, joining with a slip stitch. At this point I like to chain 1 and then cut the yarn, leaving a little tail which will get put in to the envelope when it's finished. Right, if you're anything like me, while doing this you will no doubt teach your crochet how to fly a few times. You will come out with swear words that you forgot you even know. Maybe make up a few of your own, because doing this part around the tassels is so frustrating. It's enough to send anybody up the wall. Right, next stage would be to make sure all your tassels, unlike this one, are the right side of the line of stitches from the previous side. So if you've got a stitch like this that goes underneath the yarn, just gently pull it out so it's now tasseled at the side. Do that on both sides. Oh, there's one there, decided it wasn't going to be on the side it should have been at. Right, so that is all where it should be. So now to do the front side. Right, so with the front side, just like the other side, but this time you've got a line to guide you. So the line of the stitches from the back of it, if you try to join a front post around that stitch, you only have one line to worry about. So if we join it there, you can join it with slip stitch, or you can join it with slip knot like I did on the other round. Entirely up to you, whichever works for you. But you chain 2, this is your first double crochet, and then you do front post double crochets along the line from the previous round. This side is a lot easier to do than the back because you've got a line to guide you. Don't worry about it being above the line, because it does settle and it falls perfectly in line. You're basically doing the exact same on the front as you did at the back, but as I say, you have a line to guide you where to put the stitches, which comes in handy when you're going down the sides, because you've got this nice line showing you where to go. Once again, when you get to the corners, I always do 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, which are all front post. Every stitch in this round is a front post double crochet. you will see many other videos online of different people showing you the envelope border. Quite a few of them are different to the way I do it. There is one that does slip stitches instead of double crochets, which does a front post slip stitch all the way around, so that way you have a very small loop that looks very much like this, that you have to get underneath of. I find that difficult with my eyesight and everything, to actually see the stitch, to be able to get underneath it. This is the only reason I choose to use this way. If you want to use a slip stitch version of the envelope stitch, then yeah, the envelope border, then go for it. If it works for you, that's brilliant. I know a few other designers that do front post single crochets. Again, this is not a wrong way to doing it. There is no wrong ways, I don't think, of doing this. It's just the route that they use. If you feel that you prefer to have a smaller stitch than the double crochet, you want to go for a single, then go for it. If it works for you, that's brilliant. I'm not here to say other designers are wrong in their methods. I just choose to use this method because it's easier for me. As in with a lot of things at crochet. Ah, this one's stuck, it doesn't want to come through. Nightmare. No, I'm going to take the hook out and try that one again. So it can be an absolute nightmare. Why have I got more than one? Well, this proves that I'm human, because even I can make cock-ups. Right, okay, let's do this. There. 2. Why have I done 3? 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. Now we go down the line, trying to get those tassels out the way, doing front post double crochets where it's quite tight, very fiddly, quite difficult to talk and crochet at the same time. So what I will do is pause the video and join you when you finish this round. So as you can see, exactly the same as the back, we've got front post double crochets all the way along the sides, and then you've got 2 double crochet, front post double crochet, chain 1 and 2 front post double crochet for the corners. Right, I will go away and swear my way around until I reach back at the beginning. Right, there we have it. That row is done. All the stress that it causes going down the sides, trying not to catch the tassels. Right, so the front should look similar to that, and the back again with the tassels like so. Now's the easy bit. That's the hardest bit out of the way. Now you just build up with these sides to make as long as you want, as colourful as you want. I tend to, when I'm making a blanket, whichever colour the background is, that's the colour of the first round of the envelope border that I always do, so that way it looks like the colour carries on going. I tend to do 2 rows in the border colour, then I'll do 1 row of whatever colour the picture colour is, and then 2 colours of the border colour again, so that way it really makes your picture pop. It's entirely up to you what you choose to do, but if you do another colour, you can do one of the same colour, Another one, they're all double crochets, but they're normal double crochets. You just go through the stitch at the top as normal and go round doing double crochets. In the corners you've got this gap where you've got the chain 1, so you do a double crochet in every stitch, but then when you get to that gap you do 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. That makes your corner, and then you can quite easily go down the side again. And then when you've got it the size that you want, you basically do 1 round of double crochet by you go through both loops at the front, through both loops at the back, and join it with a double crochet. I'll show you again this one. Here we go. See, I've done 2 in white, 2 in purple and 2 in white. That way it really, yeah, this is for a baby blanket, but then the top part are the double crochets to seal it off in the same colours as the colour that you've chosen for the last round on both sides. If you really wanted to, when you do a double-sided blanket, you can do different borders on each side. See, which really looks great. So it's entirely up to you what you do next. Go around it again with double crochets in whichever colour that you want on both sides. What you can do when you've got a minimum of 5 rows of double crochets, including this bottom one that you've just done, when you go around with the double crochets, leave both these ends open. So just go around the top and then the bottom 3 sides. That way you can put a pole through, or you can put a rope through so you can hang it on the wall. That's an option that you can do. People use them as wall hangings, and it looks really good. As long as you've got at least 5 rows of double crochet, you've got more than enough space for a normal curtain pole to go through. Okay, let me know what you think of this video. Hopefully we've got you through the hardest part, the most stressful part of the envelope border. What I could do is finish off this border and put it at the end of the video so you can see it finished. But until then, happy hooking.